get ready to make a splash. Today we're going to be making these tall window journaling tags with large see-through windows, lots of 3D dimensional effects, and plenty of layering, plus lots of journaling spots. So whether you are a journal or an album maker, whether you're looking for a way to jazz up some gifts that you might be giving or a gift card, this video is going to be perfect for you. Hello everyone, it's Madi Azar with Spectrum Art Creations for Graphic 45 Brand Ambassador Team. In step 1, we are going to gather the gorgeous Graphic 45 Make a Splash 8x8 paper collection. So, of course, the template is adjustable. You can make them bigger or smaller, but for this project, we are going to be using an 8x8 size. First, we're going to cut our template roughly, and then we're going to do some of the more detailed work. Now, there are other examples on our YouTube channel on various projects with these templates if you like to see other inspirations as well. The tall one we're going to cut just really nicely on the left, right, and bottom side, leaving the top uncut at first. And that's just going to make our life a lot easier. We're going to do the inserts next, and for those you can cut right on the line on all 4 sides. Now for the tabs, we're going to cut the left, the right, the bottom, and the top sides, leaving again that piece in the middle, which has got the little details, just the way it is for right now. Now after that, we've got a nice cut. All the sides are nice and straight. We're going to fold that in half, and we're going to burnish that down. We're going to do that with all 3 different pieces: the tall tags, this insert right here, and the little tabs as we just did. So the goal is to line it up really well and then just to crease it and burnish it down. We're going to do that with all of them before we do the detail work, because that's just going to make our life much easier. Of course, you can just cut them the way they are and then just fold them in half, but I found that this way makes it so much easier because they will match perfectly. And once we are done with that, we are going to come in and just cut those little angles there at the top of the tall piece as well as on the tab. And as simple as that, we are done. We have perfectly matching asymmetrical pieces. So no need to measure, no need to worry about any of that. And then of course, we're going to follow up by rounding our corners. Just like that, we are done with our bases. So the next thing we're going to do is move on to step number 2. And in step number 2, we are going to die cut our window opening. Now, if you have a different die, maybe you have a rectangle, maybe you have a circle. If you have neither, you can always just use your X-Acto knife, or you can trace or measure with a ruler, and then just use your scissors to cut out an opening. In step 3, we are going to be doing our inking. For that, we're going to be using the gorgeous Graphic 45 hybrid inks in the colors Lovely Lilac, natural linen, and marine blue. The great thing about Graphic 45 inks is they, number one, they're hybrid. They're so smooth and so rich in colors, but also they coordinate perfectly with all of their paper lines. There are 6 different colors. So once you have the 6 colors, then they will match all of your Graphic 45 lines. Plus, of course, you could use them for any other projects that you have because they are a hybrid ink, which means that you can use them with Copic markers, so anything alcohol based. You can use them with anything, watercolors. You could use them for, regular inking with your stamps. So they are completely versatile. You never have to think, is this the right ink for this project? Nope, you don't, because it is the right ink always. So first I distressed, as you can see, in the lovely lilac, the outer edges, but I went a little bit deep, so I came out a little bit more in towards the inside of the project. Then very lightly around the edges, I'm going to use the marine blue. This is a very rich color. A little bit goes a long way. So you want to be not too heavy-handed with the marine blue because it really is a super rich color. And then we're going to be sure to also ink the inside of our window, just using the marine blue. Now, in my dream world, Graphic 45 is going to come out with a brown ink just for me. That way I'll never have to use any other inks, right? Please, hopefully, if we all flood him with requests, emails, messages, posts asking for a brown ink, maybe my wish will come true. So, please, Graphic 45, we need a brown ink. It would be awesome to have just one more color and let that be brown. Then we can always distress our projects and age them with the brown, because the natural linen is great for getting that, just like it says, that linen look, almost like that tea-dyed look, but I need a darker brown too. With the inking of our main pieces done, we can move on to step number 4. In step number 4, we're going to be working on the insert. Now, typically this insert gets glued together with the tab sandwiched in between. However, we're going to change it up a bit because that's part of the fun, is also changing up the way things are intended to be done or be used. So we're going to start with our linen, which is a really hard color to see on camera because of course the camera just wants to fight and reflect off of that white. But it is a super delicious, really nice creamy color. We're going to work on the inside of the insert first with the linen, and then we're going to come up and do the lilac on the sides. Finally, we're also going to add a little bit of blue. Now the fun thing is also to use inks for different techniques. Just try them out. And on the gel plate, we've used them on the gel plate. They work really nice. We also like to play with them and see what other things we can accomplish and how they behave. And in this case, what we did was we decided to use a technique, which is the plastic wrap technique. It's just plastic cling wrap and a little bit of alcohol to get that moving, and to also, of course, wash it a little bit, because as I mentioned, that marine blue is a very strong color. So you're just going to need a little bit, and it's going to go a long way. And you can see just how rich that color is. We are mimicking the ocean, those waves and swirls that we find under the ocean where mermaids would reside. And then I decided that we needed just a little bit more lilac to deepen that color. And we're going to finish it by doing the very edges on the blue as well with the blue. So now our insert matches our paper line perfectly. Again, the beauty of having inks that perfectly coordinate with our paper lines, right? So it actually looks like it's almost part of the original paper line. Love that. On to step number 5. We're going to grab The World is Your Oyster 8x8 page, and we're going to cut out our journaling cards. We are going to round all the corners, and we're also going to ink our edges. In step 6, we are going to finish our inserts. So for that, we're going to do a couple of things. The first thing we're going to do is going to be to stamp on the inside. Again, using the Great Make a Splash stamp set, which includes 10 different pieces. We are going to select any, whichever ones or one is your favorite. You can mix and match them. Obviously, it has things like seahorses and sentiments and silver dollars or sand dollars and seashells. Just even the bubbles are adorable. I love the bubbles. To stamp, I'm going to use my classic black hybrid graphic 45 ink pad. Love this pad. So rich, so creamy, super smooth, great impression. But this is probably my most used pad. Yep, I'm thinking in the studio. I use it like almost daily. Love this one. And all I'm going to do is use my stamping block and just press down. Again, usually if I'm not comfortable with my stamps, I will use a stamping platform because I'm so afraid to mess up. I am not the greatest stamper in the world, but Graphic 45 has really good quality stamps. So I am usually pretty comfortable with not having to use a stamping platform. Of course, I will prime my stamp by, stamping it a few times first and testing it out on a scrap piece of paper. But after that, you can see what a great impression it leaves. And this is going to be the first step that we're going to do on the inside of our inserts, okay? So we're going to decorate it with some stamps, but we're still going to continue to do a little bit more because we're going to work on some added surprises on the front of this as well. Next, we're going to glue on the tab, but we're going to glue that only to one side of the insert, and that's going to be on the front side. After that, we're going to look for the 8x8 page titled Wish Upon a Starfish. We're going to cut some of those lines in order to use them to create a hinge. I wanted the strand of pearls to be prominent on my hinge on the outside. However, you might want the starfish, you might also want to make it thicker. So there is no right or wrong way to do this. You can cut it as wide as you like, you can make it as thin as you like. That is totally up to you. And then using a ruler and a stylus ball tip pen, we're going to create a score line so that we can fold it and it is nice and straight. Again, how thick you want it to be, completely up to you, so you decide where it is that you would like that score line to be. And now you're going to pick your 2 favorite journaling cards. They are all beautiful, so it's super easy to find a favorite. You're going to remember though that this is going to be the first thing you're going to see behind the clear window. So keep in mind that this is going to be basically one of your focal images. With our selection done, we are going to cut that strip of paper that we just did for our hinge mechanism, and we're going to glue that to the top and the front. Very important that you do this because this is going to prevent from your insert from sticking when you slide it in. You don't want anything sticking out, you don't want anything loosey-goosey, because this is what is going to create the possibility for your insert not to slide in and out of your pocket nice and smoothly. So again, we're going to take that hinge, we're going to glue it one side to the front of our journaling card, that main focal point through the window piece. So now that front piece of our hinge is glued down to the front of our first journaling card. Now we're going to pick a second journaling card that we absolutely love. Of course, you want to pick one that's got some lines because the idea is to be able to journal on it. Do you have to pick a second one? No, of course not. You can just journal directly on to the front cover of that insert. But I decided that since I had some extra ones, why not? I could glue them down and utilize them. Of course, if you plan to make like a set of 6 of these or save some of those journaling cards for other projects, you most certainly can. However, remember, the collection comes with 3 of each of the pages, so you've got plenty of journaling cards to spare. So to do this, all we're going to do is add glue to the other half of our hinge, and we are going to add our other journaling card and simply create like a little mini book or booklet out of them, making sure that they're nice and evenly lined up. And then we're going to glue that to the front of the insert. And that concludes the inserts. So now we're going to move on to step number 7, which we talked about just recently. We're going to be working on the backdrops. To do that, we're going to need a piece of paper that measures 4.5 by 3.25. Now there are plenty of beautiful papers to choose from in the line, and of course you also have the solid and patterns pad as well that comes in the 12 by 12. So you have lots of different options for backdrops. With that done, we're going to glue that down to the inside of our tall tag. However, one word of caution, and this is kind of important, you want to make sure that you adhere it all the way to the right hand side edge. So you want to come right to the right hand side so that there is no lip and no space in between the two. That again is going to be one of those things that if it's not adhered well or glued all the way down, it's going to become a problem when it comes time to slide your insert in and out. So definitely make sure you do that, and then of course touch it up with a little bit of your ink. And I've also gone all the way around on the inside just to prevent that white core from showing. And that concludes step number 7. So now on to step number 8. In step number 8, we are going to work with our acetate piece. Now, acetate, awesome to have, of course, in your craft stash. But if you do not happen to have acetate, you could also obviously recycle some packaging, maybe from a food container or some kind of something that came with a piece of plastic. All you need is a 4 1/4 by 3 piece. Then we're going to add glue on all 4 sides, and we're going to adhere that to the inside of our front window. And now we are ready to close our tall tabbed pocket tag. So we're going to be very careful. We're going to add glue to the top piece and also to that top edge, as well as our bottom edge, leaving of course the center open so that our insert can slide in and out. Now in step 9, we're going to be inserting an eyelid. And that step is completely optional. You will notice that the other 2 tags that I did do not have eyelids at all. And I did that on purpose because I know some of you might not have an eyelid setter. So I wanted to show you that they will look amazing. They'll look great with or without. But if you do have one, I highly recommend that you use it, because it is those things that are going to give it added interest. Again, if you're looking at working some mixed media components to this, we have used paper and plastic and now metal with the eyelid, and then we're going to be bringing in some fibers, maybe some laces and stuff like that also. So again, all of that is going to add that much more interest. So if you have an eyelid, you can go ahead and set it up at the top, and then we can move on to step number 10. And that is to decorate. Now I'm going to be using the gorgeous assortment ephemera pack. It is loaded with great elements for us to be able to layer, and a lot of them of course are highly detailed, like the clock and the fins. But you can see here that I've chosen some banners, some seaweed, grass, of course the gorgeous mermaid who is diving with some pearls and a pearl necklace, seashells and a seahorse, and I have also added some micro beads at the bottom to resemble sand. And you can see that our tag looks beautiful whether we have the insert or without. Step 11 is going to be our last step, and that is going to be to add some great elements up at the top in order to, of course, dress up our project. Now I have some eyelash trim, and I do have some sari silk. And of course, if you have silk or lace and you do not have that specific color, no need to worry, because we have our perfectly matching coordinating ink pads, and that's what I've done. I didn't have anything in that lovely lilac color. I did have some blue eyelash trim, but I decided to color my own sari silk, and you can do this with any of your trims or laces or perhaps some scraps of fabric, whatever it is that you like to use, you can always have perfectly coordinating matching pieces with your great inks. So we are now done. We are just going to wrap this up by adding those trims. What do you guys think? Did you enjoy it? I always enjoy hearing your feedback, and so does Graphic 45. So do let us know, is this a project that you are excited about making? Don't forget also, I do have some other samples coming up here at the end of some other ones that we did, same collection, but I've of course used some of the other journaling cards and ephemera bits, so take a look at those, as well as some of the up close photos in case you want to try and match the ephemera. You can do that with the still photos as well. But again, do give us some feedback. Let us know, what do you think about this amazing collection? I am in love. I love it. I love anything to do with mermaids and fairies and botanicals and all that good stuff. So this was right up my alley. I could not wait to create using this paper line. Thank you so much for joining us today in the art studio and for hopefully creating along. We hope that you guys have enjoyed the project. We hope that it's brought you some inspiration. If you perhaps are not into mermaids and you want to use a different collection, I would love to know what that is, because I just might want to try that as well. Again, I have other samples as well of these jumbo windowed tab tags in our own YouTube channel, so feel free to go ahead and check those out. Do not forget to leave a thumbs up and a comment down below, and of course to run out and pick up this amazing paper line collection. Thank you once again, guys. You guys have a great, wonderful, crafty, and blessed day. Enjoy. Bye.